About to get real, y'all. 4 things you should be watching out for. Joint practice with the Cleveland Browns. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is 1995, The Roar. Channel for the fans, by a fan, restoring the roar. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, tell a friend all about us. Today we're here to talk about the Carolina Panthers. Joint practice Wednesday. 4 things you guys should be looking out for. Let's get into it with our first segment, the first roar. On today's first roar, we're here to talk about the Carolina Panthers' first preseason game opponent, as well as joint practice team, the Cleveland Browns. Before we actually get into that, let's talk about day 9 of training camp. It was a wet, rainy, soak-filled day in Charlotte, but there was some production, at least on the defensive side of the ball. Lathan Ransom, rookie safety from Ohio State, came in and did his big one today, man. Had a pick on Bryce Young, also a couple batted down passes, which was the highlight of today's practice. Again, not necessarily concerned with Bryce doing another turnover here. It's, at this point, you know what I mean? At least in my mind, I already know what we're getting out of Bryce. It's okay. So, but it is nice to see our safety come in here and make some plays off top, right? When it comes to injuries for today, Nick Scorton and Hunter Renfrow both were held out, again, with hamstring recoveries, as well as Derek Brown, who's the no-go for joint practice. Little bit of a disappointment there. First thing you guys should be looking out for is Mason Graham versus Austin Corbett and Cade Mays. Now I'm gonna tell you, if you don't know about Mason Graham, he's a big boy, 6'3", over 320 pounds. And the thing about it is, he's not only big and strong, he's deceptively fast and agile, right? He can get lateral in a hurry. I believe he had over 9 sacks last year and 18 tackles for loss. With this competition brewing between Austin Corbett and Cade Mays, you get a nice little matchup here, man. Although he's a rookie, this guy was brought in at a high pick for a reason. So it's going to be nice. I mean, he can only expand his game learning from Myles Garrett, and they got a nice defensive line. One thing the Browns did do well last year was stop the run, right? They played good on defense. So offensively, they're not necessarily the best in the last couple of years, but this is good work. Okay, I'm not sure why there's a center competition when it comes between the two. I don't know if it's they don't trust Corbett's injury history, or maybe they feel like they can get more production out of Cade Mays. But one thing or another here, I would like to see these guys at least win a couple reps. It's going to be imperative, right? We spent a lot of money on this offensive line with Robert Hunt, Damian Lewis, and a host of other guys here. So, if we can just seal up that center position, and this is a good task, at least show us that we can win some reps and hold our own, I think that'll give this team confidence, and a lot of people in the front office confidence, knowing that, a top 10 pick here or a first round pick, you held your own against them. So be fun, be on the lookout for that. That's gonna be a fun one to watch here and see how many reps we can win between that. The second thing you guys should keep your eyes open for is this secondary for the Browns versus our wide receivers. Okay, we got some young guys back there, but this is a very talented secondary. One thing they know how to do is, if they can't pick you off, they're either going to rock you or they're going to knock that ball loose, right? So you're going up against Denzel Ward, who had over 19 pass breakups, you know what I mean? Got Greg Newsome, a guy who's known for breaking up past 9-10 passes a season. And these guys will pick you off as well. Greg Delpit. So it's gonna be fun to see these young rookies, right? Xavier Lizette, going against Denzel Ward. You know what I mean? This is here time to earn your money, right? There was a lot of stigma coming out of college about, him being big, fast, and strong, and being the next DK Metcalf, or even the A.J. Brown, right? So, one thing about the A.J. Browns and the DK Metcalfs of the world, when it's time to go up against big-time opponents, they usually show up most of the time. So, Xavier Legette, Denzel Ward's going to be fun. Even T-Mac, T-Mac, a guy who I've been lauding the praise on since we got him. Again, I'm going to say my favorite stat, 60% contested catch rate. So I need at least a couple balls coming down with him, with guys holding on to him or grabbing on to him, just to show that power, that physicality that he has. So it'll be a very, very big letdown if these guys get stymied, right? If they come out here and get stymied by these cornerbacks, which I think they will, you know what I mean? But it's all part of growing pains, right? But I still expect for these guys on talent alone, not experience, but just on talent alone to win some of these reps, right? And usually what happens is the way you practice in joint practice, you usually end up playing like that in the preseason game, right? So last year or the year before when we faced the Jets in preseason, if you guys remember, Quinn Williams came into our house and wreaked havoc on that offensive line and Bryce Young. And sure enough, during the preseason game, he did the exact same thing. So to set that tone on that offense, man, I need one of these receivers. I need to see the Jimmy Horn, right? I want to see Jimmy Horn do what he's been doing. If I have to rate my confidence level of our wide receivers versus their secondary, out of 10, let's say out of 10, I'm going to give them probably as a unit, I'll give them a 5. You just don't know. I think on talent alone, they're probably up there in the 7s or 8. But if you're talking about just sheer technique, experience, talent, all rolled up in one, then I have to bring it down to like a 5 here. The person who I'm probably not worried about the most, probably Jalen Croker, right? For whatever reason, Croker just seems to be at least mentally more mature than all the other receivers when it comes to route runnings and making plays and finding soft spots in the zone, right? When I mean other receivers, I mean the other young receivers. Obviously, Renthro's probably going to be held out, and who knows if Adam Thielen's going to be go. But I think Croker's probably going to be the one that's going to turn some heads tomorrow if I had to make a guess. And Jimmy Horn probably is going to make some plays as well. So those are guys flying under the radar. But we'll see, man. This is time when you step up and make plays. Now, this next thing to watch out for, you guys know it's coming, right? Y'all know it's coming, right? Bryce Young versus this secondary, right? I just talked about the wide receiver versus the secondary. Now we're talking about the quarterback versus the secondary. Obviously, you got to have time in the pocket. So none of what I'm about to say matters if he doesn't have any time, right? But if you're given time, if you're given, wide receivers getting space, separation, if everything works out in the perfect world, can you execute, right? Perfect time, wide receivers get separation and space, can you make the right read? When you panic when you hear footsteps, will you just take it and be safe and make the check down? Or will you actually try to go down the field and move that ball? You know what I mean? So, to me, I feel like this secondary is built for Bryce Young to be stopped, right? These guys are known for just wreaking havoc, like I said, man. I mean, it's really tough on teams that, are trying to stretch the ball, especially with young receivers. So maybe this might be a 1 or 2 series where Bryce is checking it down, excuse me, and the running game, just play action off of it, maybe here or there. But I want to see Bryce really try to make some plays, right? I know it's preseason, you don't want to open up your entire playbook, but show me. Show me, do you have enough trust if Xavier Legette is matched up against Denzel Ward? Will you pull the trigger? Will you get scared and say, well, I don't know if his closing speed, I want to see. If given perfect time, perfect separation, will you throw that ball? Or will you be safe and checking underneath, right? It's time for my boy to take the training wheels off. And this is a good test, man, when it comes to this joint practice here, right? There's some opportunities for him to really make a name for himself. I'm gonna have a lot of respect for him if I come out here and see that he's dominating guys like Denzel Ward and Grant Delpit and Greg Newsome, guys who are playmakers. But if I hate to bring it down just a little bit. I mean, you already have I think like 4 or 5 interceptions since day 9 now. So yeah, I think there's gonna be a little bit of picks and stuff, man, but to me, I'm not necessarily worried about that. I want to see him recover from that, right? I mean, you in your mind, in my mind, it's like you already expect that, right? Because we know that, right? So it's like I want to see what your mind look like after you throw a pick, So yeah, kudos to Bryce. Will he come out here and dominate these guys, or will it just be another fanned out practice? You know what I mean? So we'll see, man. I think Bryce can pull it off. I think he's going to pull it off. You got the line, you got the running backs, you got the wide receivers. Let's see what you can do with it. Last but not least, I got to say, Kwan versus Myles Garrett. Now listen, y'all. Okay, Myles Garrett is a monster. This guy literally had like 5 guys blocking him at one time during the regular season. I think it was a couple seasons ago, but we faced them before. We faced Myles Garrett and Kwan, who matched up with each other before, and it didn't go so well. But now he's a little bit older, got a little more hair on him. You know what I mean? Let's see it, man. Let's see it. You know, to me, you know what I mean. Real man don't be scared of challenge, right? Okay, it's gonna be a challenge. You know, you may lose, but you're gonna show up and you're gonna make life tough on them, right? So, Kwan is a guy who's literally, you know, it's almost contract time for him. And we seen Nick Scorton put the beats on him. Princey Manley put the beats on him already. So, man, it's almost like, you know, he's almost in that Bryce situation where it's like, come on, guy. You know, you're here. You got everything you need. Good situation. Now it's time for you to really show us what you made of, right? He's a good run blocker here. And he's come a long way in the pass game here. So, Myles Garrett definitely is going to, you know, be a load here. But make me proud, man. Win a couple reps, right? Win a couple reps, you know what I mean? Stymie him, give Bryce some time, just enough time to get it off, right? I don't expect for you to go out there and win every rep, and, you know, I do expect for you to have some help, you know what I mean? The Panthers think about going out here, you know, in team 11-11s, and they don't call for a double team. You just blow the play dead because it's going to be that over. It's going to be over there that quick, you know what I mean? But, yeah, I got a faith in him. If I had to give you a bonus one, here we go. I gave you 4, right? Let's go to 5, right? So 5 things to look out for when it comes to this Carolina Panthers joint practice. I gotta say, Shedeur versus this first team defense, right? We all know Shedeur's lining up, taking on this Panthers first team. We know Kenny Pickett's hurt, Joe Flacco, Dillon Gabriel, and I think they brought in Tyler Huntley, right? So I'm expecting for him to get a lot of volume. You know, Shedeur's a guy who can make plays. You know, we know he's not necessarily the most cerebral quarterback, but that guy has a lively arm. He can extend plays, right? So, you know, can we prevent the Jerry Jeudy connection? Or even the David Njoku? Can we prevent Njoku from running around? You know what I mean? And don't forget about the former Panther, Deontay Johnson, coming back. So, if Shedeur comes out here and gets some momentum behind him, how does that look like? You know? This defense, who I'm proud of all preseason long, I need you guys to pop out and show somebody what we about, right? I believe in this linebacking core. Look, when stuff hit the fan, you will not say I never didn't believe in you guys. A lot of people on the internet say they don't believe. I believe in this linebacking core. So make life miserable on Shedeur. So expect for this linebacker core and just the defense as a whole to get busy. You know what I mean? J.C. Horn been phenomenal. Shouldn't have no problem against Jerry Jeudy. That's going to be a nice fun one. He is a fast one, but no problem. And even Mike Jack line up against Deontay Jackson. How does that look like, right? So, those are my 5 things to look out for, man. Get in the comment section. You guys let me know what are you expecting to look out for. And do you agree with some of these takes here, all right? Make sure you guys follow me into the Discord here. We got a nice little community. It's free. Hit the Discord link during the regular season. Even during game day, we're going to be chatting up in there, sharing our thoughts and opinion, having a good, fun time. A little rough sometimes, but we're going to have a good time, all right? Be sure to check out the Discord on Spotify. Be sure to check out the podcast on Spotify. During the regular season, I will be dropping one Monday, Friday, and Wednesday. All right, so starting week 1, Monday, Friday, and Wednesday. I will have one for you guys after joint practice Wednesday night, so be sure to look that out. All right. I'm your host, Grande Gato, also known as the Big Cat. My 95ers, put your paws up. Let me hear you roar. Make sure you subscribe, share, like, follow me on TikTok and everywhere I am on social media, okay? Get in the comment section, show that love. On today's